Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Hey, I have a wonderful guest in studio. I have a woman here that you need to meet. It's Christy Ruffino, and she's from the Dynamic Professional Women's Network, and she's a dynamo.
Well, thanks, Liz.
You're welcome. Tell me a little bit about this network. It's something exciting that I hadn't heard about, but now I think, why haven't I heard about it?
Gosh, I don't know, but it's a great organization. I founded it about 7 years ago. Actually, I founded it as a way to grow my business, but it ended up by being really, really successful. And after a year or two of telling people no, they couldn't join because we were full, I just kind of decided to, with the help of the leadership team I had in place at the time, I just found the natural solution would be to start another chapter. And so we had one chapter, then we went to 2, then we went to 4, and now we have like 28 chapters all over Illinois and Wisconsin, with our next chapter launching in Austin, Texas. So it's really exciting.
You went someplace warm. Good for you.
Yeah, I know. Too bad it wasn't a month ago.
Right, yeah, or a couple months ago. Tell me a little bit about, there are lots of, this is a women's group, it's a leads group, but there's lots of leads group, but what makes this one unique?
Well, there's a couple things. We just really realized that what we wanted to do is build like a camaraderie of women to support each other, and it's kind of like a sisterhood. And what we wanted to do is made like the structure of it so we would still be productive, but yet it would work around a working mom's schedule. So I know a lot of times it's hard for working moms to get up super early in the morning and make some of the early morning leads groups. So what we did is we kind of set the structure of our organization to meet twice a month. And we generally meet over lunch. We have a few chapters in the city right now that meet early in the morning, but generally the chapters meet over lunch. So it's a working lunch, and our goal is to really build relationships. That's the first goal, because it's all about investing in each other, connecting and serving each other. But beyond that, we just kind of form a camaraderie of mentors, kind of have little mastermind groups. There's just so many resources. We help each other with so many things. As women entrepreneurs, sometimes it gets very lonely, and it's hard when you're your own boss. And though we have a lot of women with all kinds of businesses, it's really nice to have other women that are really supporting us, encouraging us, and holding us accountable.
Well, I think once you women entrepreneurs, when you get to sit with another one, whether they're in your same business, suddenly there's a little bond, and there's some good sharing going on of ideas, and so suddenly you don't feel quite as alone.
Yeah, and we learn from each other. And when you see other women doing great things, you kind of aspire to do the same thing. And just, wow, she can do it, I can do it. So it's a great place to be. Right,
or if you've got a particular problem, she may have a solution.
Absolutely.
That you've been searching for or didn't know who to ask, and it gets pointed in the right direction. And I think it's smart to meet at noon, because most of those leads groups that start in the morning are men, because they don't have to get the kids out the door.
Yeah. So it works out really well. I think it really works. And, we only meet twice a month. We don't meet every week, because as women, once we're invested in each other, we're going to constantly be thinking about how we can help each other. So it seems to work really well.
It's great. And how do you get involved? Like if some woman entrepreneur is watching, how can they get connected with you?
Well, they can go to our website. And then basically just find a chapter that will work for them based on the schedule, when they meet and where they meet, because it's not only too about where their location is, where their meeting is, but now are they going to have possible referrals that they can give to the other women in the chapter. So you want to find a good location, and then just connect with the chapter leader, ask to visit. You go visit and check out the dynamics of that group, and at that point you decide if you think it's a great way to invest your resources.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. And what's the end game for this, or the plan for this? I mean, you're opening now in Texas. Are you planning other chapters?
Yeah.
In other states? Because you've got a lot of chapters here, but now you're moving this out.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the exciting part is, it wasn't a business that I really planned to have happen, but it did, and it's exciting, and I'm just trying to keep up with it. So right now, we've grown really well in the Chicagoland area, but I've been really creating a structure to support my leadership team, because I really want to go into other states. I really want this to be it's going to be a national organization of women that can really just support each other across states.
That's neat. Well, and I agree with you. I think it's something worthy of national exposure and expansion. But one of the neat things I think you did was this book project.
Yes.
Overcoming Mediocrity here, and it's the story of women, and you this is your brainchild, not only from the cover design to self-publishing it to getting it all together. And I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed because it's a neat book.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's great to be able to offer this as another resource for my members to be able to share their story, get that author status without having to write a whole book themselves. And, my goal is for this to be a baby step for them so they will put their book out. But in the meantime, all they have to do is share their story. And some of the stories in there, all of the stories in there, are stories that are really encouraging and inspiring. And they're able to kind of share their wisdom and their journeys with others to hopefully be able to inspire other people to do the same things that they've done.
It's easy reading. And it kind of touches people because you can relate right to it.
Well, and because there are so many different stories from so many different perspectives, people are going to resonate with different authors. And that's what's nice is there's a story for everybody.
There is.
Yes.
And I find it's so nice to have stories being told now. And as you're struggling through it or coming up through it, we want to hear that and rather than at the end or something like that. Let's celebrate everybody's story right now.
Yes.
We're celebrating your story right now. You've got a
Absolutely.
great story. And so this is the book that's out right now, but there's already plans for second and third editions of this?
It will, yeah, absolutely. We're actually finished our second book, which is Overcoming Mediocrity, the story of courageous women. And so the stories are all in. Actually, the book is in the printer right now, so we're hoping to have that done and published and out for release in about 2 weeks. And then we'll start working on interviewing authors for the next one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Christy, what has surprised you most about this?
Well, as we were talking before, as an entrepreneur, it can be kind of lonely. So I do work out of my office a lot. But when I visit chapters, I'm just so inspired by the testimonies from members that have grown their business, made some great connections, great friends, great opportunities from the other women in the chapter. And these are chapters that I'm not even a part of. I coach and support the leadership team, but that chapter is kind of doing its own thing, and it's going great, and it's really making a difference.
That's awesome. I bet when you just think about it and look out and say, oh my gosh,
I know.
This came from an idea and look where it went. Good for you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
7 years old, going to be going on a national push there.
Yes.
Books out there. You are rocking it, girl.
Well, thanks.
Just rocking it. Thanks for stopping by and sharing with us all your great things. We're going to be right back with more Business Connection.